Hi everyone, it's the middle of the night, we're here in my kitchen, and I want to talk to you about the Bengal JS2. I just want to talk about the things that I like, the things that I don't like. There aren't many reviews of it or really anyone talking about it on YouTube, so I just wanted to give my 2 cents with my first week of using the watch. First I want to start with what I like. I really like the hardware. This is sort of a generic Chinese smartwatch hardware platform, I think. It's very similar to my Amazfit Bip, a little different. I think the display unit is probably exactly the same. So yeah, I think what they've done is purchase kind of a generic Chinese device and flash it with their own firmware. So let's get into the software a little bit. This is a custom watch face, but it's pretty similar to the stock one. Most of the watch faces are pretty plain, not many graphics, and not many features. Compared to what I'm used to on the Amazfit Bip, or you might be used to from an Android Wear or an Apple Watch, this is a little more bare bones. It's not to say it couldn't be more advanced, just that I don't think it is right now, based on what's in the App Store. So if we go in to the watch here, if I click the side button, I get a little loading. Those little loading bars happen pretty much when you do anything on the watch. So you gotta wait for a second. Yeah, not the best. Alright, let's see. This is the launcher. This isn't the stock launcher, but it gives you a good idea of what the launcher is like. You can go through all your apps. This one is actually even a little better than the stock launcher. The stock launcher is even a little bit worse. These are all different individual apps that you do different things with. And there I've accidentally touched one of them. So to go back, we just touched. So what you just saw there, that's the device menu. And the menu seems like a standardized thing between a lot of the apps. You'd think it would look more like this launcher display, but really they're two completely different designs. This is not the stock menu, but it looks a lot like it, and it works a lot like it. So the stock menu is even worse, to give you an idea. But basically, you can scroll like that, a little hard, and then you tap when you want to do something. That menu, I think, is designed more for the Bengal JS1, which I think relies on physical buttons and doesn't have a touchscreen. So most of the touchscreen controls on this device feel kind of like an afterthought. You know, it doesn't feel like it was primarily designed with, with the touchscreen in mind. So that gets to the next part of my review, which overall the software is a pretty clunky experience. It all works okay. It all does what it says on the tin. The web app is able to use web Bluetooth to flash the device, and it all does work. But nothing is very polished. And I'm saying that as somebody who's been writing JavaScript for pretty much 10 years now, full time. I can write JavaScript to do whatever I want on this watch, and that's great. And if I had a really, really specific mission that I was trying to accomplish, where I wanted to write my own app and then use the app on the watch, I think this would be a really great platform for that. But I mostly use a smartwatch as a wristwatch, and I use it to read notifications. And there are just so many little things with this watch that do not behave seamlessly on a firmware level, not on a level of, yeah, great, you could write your own watch face, you could write your own app, but the overall system, and it's all open source, I'm sure I could go fix all of those little things, but there are just so many things that go into a user experience. For instance, when you get a notification on the watch, the backlight doesn't light up. You could be in a dark room, get a notification, and you look down and your watch is dark. Not something I'm used to coming from my Amazfit Bip. Also, whenever you get a notification or you're somewhere in the watch that you don't want to be and you want to go back to the home screen, you have to hold this side button for 3 whole seconds before you get home, which is pretty slow interface, especially on a watch when you're probably in the middle of something and trying to do something else. Also, this will stay up here forever. So if I am in an app, now it's locked, but if I'm in an app, that app will stay on the screen forever. There is no timeout for most of these things, which, if you've just gone into a menu, even by accident, I'll look at my watch an hour later and go, oh yeah, I'm still on this screen. Oops. So, the overall UX is a really hard thing to get right. User experience, really hard thing to get right. I'm definitely not blaming them, right? This is an open source project, and I think it's mostly one guy, right? And this is an incredible feat. But if you're watching this because you're considering buying it and you like the idea of being able to edit the software and to have an open source watch, but you mostly just want to have a plug and play solution, I'm not sure this is the device for you. Also, speaking of software, this uses Gadget Bridge on Android. It's the only way to communicate with the watch. I'm not sure what's going on iPhone, but that's the only solution for watch pairing on Android, and it is not good. Gadget Bridge is another developer UX where basically it's really clunky, it has really limited features, and the developers have gone totally crazy about not using the internet permission in Android. That's the permission that pretty much all apps on your phone use when they want to access the internet, which I think that ship has sailed, right? If you install an app on your phone, you're assuming that it's going to be able to use the internet. But they have decided in the name of privacy to not let their app use the internet. So it means so many of the features on a watch like this that would be useful, you imagine writing JavaScript and it's like, all right, I'm going to make my little app. My app's going to make a little API call and it's going to fetch weather data, or it's going to fetch, there's so many things you can imagine that'd be useful from the watch accessing the internet through a Bluetooth bridge, through a Bluetooth serial to internet bridge, does not exist at all. And even getting weather onto here, you have to do this crazy thing with Gadget Bridge where you have this third-party app and then you kind of link them together because that app has internet access and Gadget Bridge doesn't. And it's just a little off the rails. It's just a little bit too open source crusty. I hate to say it, but that's how I feel about it. So I think I'm going to be going back to my Amazfit Bip. It doesn't have any custom apps, but the watch face looks better. The notifications work better. The battery lasts a lot longer. I've barely gotten a week here. I think I'm at 5 days here. And it's a cheaper device with probably a little bit higher quality hardware and a much better user interface, and a much better companion app on Android. Confusing as it is, the Zepp app is much better, and you're getting pretty much the same hardware package. So you're getting the always-on display, and that guy's on American Amazon for $50, so half the price of the Sesprino powered watch. So that's my review. I'm sorry it's not more positive. Like I said, the hardware is really good. I just don't think, if you're a tinkerer and you're really committed to this idea and you want to improve this watch for everybody, I think it would be really cool if you bought one and you started contributing back to the community, especially if you're somebody who's going to fix all of those little bugs. That would be really good. But as it stands, if you're just looking for a plug and play device, I don't think this is it. So that's my review. Thanks a lot, guys.